GameGoddessFee here. All right, I hope you all are having a wonderful Sunday. And yeah, we're going to continue with the trial. We're going to end it here, you all. This is the last trial date for this particular case. So yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Hey, now stopping power. It's an honor to be here. Thank you. It's an honor to have you here. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I guess we'll get started. I've been curious on this case. I don't know why I'm so curious about this case. It's Pluminator. Say hi, Pluminator.
It's over. It's over.
Anyway, yeah, I'm glad to have you here, Dolphin Miles, Dolphin Power. And I guess we can go on. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and make sure you give me a thumbs up for me. I'd appreciate it.
I'm crying.
You crying?
I'm crying.
Why are you crying? Because of the case. Only he knows what's gonna happen. It was hard for you, Miles, Dolphin Power. Okay. Let's go. February 10th, 3:36 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the test we had performed earlier. What's up, Yeety? Hey, y'all. Hey, Shermanator. What's up, Yeety? What's going on? You here? I forgot to say, where Yeety? Where Yeety?
Test?
Yes, test on the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree.
Oh yeah, that! I totally forgot about it. That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim. So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or...
Due to the time restraints, due to time constraints, a full test was impossible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. Whose blood was it? That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial.
So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Then whose was it?
They in the snow. Dagger updated in the court record. Found stuck in a pine tree in Inner Temple Garden. The blood doesn't match the victims. I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims.
I understand, Your Honor. From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quickly. Agreed.
Very well. Please bring in the last witness.
Say that again. Witness, please tell us your name and profession.
Maya Fey, my profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Writing Code Law Offices.
Maya.
According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the current channeling technique. I'm frightened. The Fey clan, I don't want any more to do with it.
Oh, Maya. The pain the Fey bloodline causes must be unbearable.
Very well. Now then, Miss Fey, when the event occurred, you were in the garden of the Inner Temple. And you witnessed the moment of Miss Elise Dunham's murder. Is this correct? I didn't see anything.
Straighten up this instant, young lady.
Huh?
Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later.
But
Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? I said, this is a thing. Sorry. Yeah. You've seen the witnesses come out, and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen?
Witness, if you please. Yes. Your Honor. I forgot Maya's voice. Witness testimony at the inner temple. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. So you were struck on the head? I suppose it must have been this staff.
Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it?
She don't know that. I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was.
Maya, think hard.
Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't.
Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone.
It's the young ladies killing each other. It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright, please begin your cross-examination.
Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all.
Cross-examination at the inner temple. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened.
Who else was on the inner temple side that night?
Well, Sister Bikini, of course. But I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well.
On the day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later like she said?
Well, let me think.
She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired.
No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for training. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head.
Who did it? Who hit you?
Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind.
You didn't see the person? But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was?
Oh, let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember.
Maya's really having a hard time. What should I do?
Nick gonna press her harder.
This is best friend. What you doing? Come on, Maya. This isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person?
Well, let me think. It was, oh yeah, that's right. It was dark, that's it. It was dark. It's not good to have too much light around when someone is undergoing spiritual training. Come to think of it, there was earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden on the night of the crime.
Which is why she didn't see her attacker. I thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not.
Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely
the spirit that was channeled by Elise Dunham, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Very well. Please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head? I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern.
What happened afterwards?
My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my escape, I think.
You think?
After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around in my mind at the time. Well, now this is beginning to get interesting.
So what were the two things rolling around in your mind?
My name is Maya Faye. 1 + 1 = 2. You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory. I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was. It's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. So what did you do then? I think I screamed, "Help me!"
You think you screamed, but you're not sure?
Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits. Believe me, my dear, I am certain I would have soiled my robes. Ugh. I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that it was my last hope.
Wow, it sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by my last hope. What do I do? Do I press for more details?
My last hope?
Yes.
My last hope.
Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff?
What? What do you mean by your last hope?
No! That's what you said. You said my last hope.
Huh? What? I said what?
Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me!"
Yeah.
But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope.
Oh, well, you know. That's like, what do you call it when that happens?
Maya's not doing so well up there.
Oh, yeah, Oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at.
What did you just say?
Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming to for help. Ah!
What is it now?
Messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out.
Huh?
Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person? I meant to keep that part a secret. What have I done?
It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say.
A ton of pressure?
You're in the court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber.
Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony. I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone tattern. That's a tattern. Lantern. Oh, Jesus.
But I'm just kidding. A man? Who was this man?
Well, you see, I couldn't see.
You couldn't see? She's used this excuse twice now.
Well, you know, lantern light isn't very bright. Lantern light, did you say? There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. They always light it when an acolyte is there for training. Hey, you know what they say? Under the lantern, darkness reigns. So I could see the person that was farther away, but not my attacker, who was closer. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time. My voice kind of crazy tonight, child. Then something warm splashed over me.
You don't mean... was it...
I didn't know it at the time, but I think it was probably blood.
Is she saying that's when Miss Dunham, who was channeling Dahlia, was stabbed in the back by the killer?
At that moment, I was paralyzed with fear. I was just sitting there in the snow. I'm sure blood got on everything around me. That's when I lost consciousness.
So what happened next?
I don't remember.
How were you saved? You don't even remember that?
No. I haven't got any idea. I really don't know what happened at all.
That's too bad. I've worked side by side with Maya for 2 years now. I can tell when she's trying to hide something by how she acts. And right now, I'm absolutely certain she's hiding something. Okay.
Alrighty then. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. Let me see. Let me check the court record. Was not lit the night of the crime.
I don't think I have to say anything.
Is this on this statement?
Yes. So there was a man standing behind your attacker?
Yeah.
That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Dunham. Otherwise known as Misty Faye, oh my god. Otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother.
The killer?
Maya. You know who killed your mother, don't you?
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
To be frank, Your Honor, I think she is in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed a huge problem with her testimony.
Huh? What do you mean? What problem?
Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission.
Huh? What?
It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night.
No. Order in the court. Mr. Godot, explain this.
Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of coffee a lot. Cafe.
Cafe LA? Is that even legal?
Mr. Trite's words are the milk, and you are the spoon. Your Honor.
I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony board, I'll have you know.
You must have noticed it too, Trite. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Sorry, but that's not going to cut it. What did you say? If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony.
Nick.
May I? Recall the witness's statement about the attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker.
No. Order. What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions?
Objection!
Trice, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene.
Objection!
There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him.
Could cover? For the man that killed her mother?
There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is!
It was Phoenix. I'm just playing. Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you.
You talk a good game, Trice, but let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff.
No, Nick, don't. Please, stop.
Maya's dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, and I'll serve the court. I'm here to find the truth.
Uh-oh. All right, Mr. Wright. Time to show us what you've got. Who was this person that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness? Ooh. Let me see. What? I couldn't be Larice Dunham. It's only a few men, Godot. Gumshoe.
Hey, Mama. Remember Video Tiger's breakdown?
Remember who?
Video Tiger's breakdown? How the whole courtroom was pitch black?
Mm-hmm.
What happened after that?
I don't know. I forgot.
We could see something.
Stripes.
We could see something.
I forgot their
In
case.
the dark.
Let me see. And I forgot.
I don't want to spell it out for you.
Really?
Yeah. I want you to figure it out.
You want me to figure it out? I will never figure it out.
You cheat. She going back to the stream, y'all. What kind of junk? No, go back. No, stop.
Yeah, I want to see what he talking about.
No, you will see it. They demonstrate it. They demonstrate it again. Okay, stop. They demonstrate it again. Just figure it out.
Just figure it out, huh?
Yes, okay.
I never forgot that case for real. Okay.
Okay. So, who out of all these folks?
You know what? He got those things on his head.
Who out of all these people could we see in the dark?
Get those, his thing right here. Am I right?
Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes?
What? But how do you propose to show us something like that?
It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night.
Conditions?
Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off.
What? This is, but it can't be.
That was a nice bit of deduction. Try it.
Godot?
Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
But you just that in a million years?
And I had forgot. What did they see that in
Yep,
that trial?
that happened in the exact same trial.
I do not remember for some reason. Order. Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it?
Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person.
What do you mean by that?
If you've got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? With the 3 glowing red lights?
Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that.
Maya!
I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man for a totally different reason.
What?
Witness, Mr. Wright.
Stop your chattering, Your Honor.
You just done playing Godot. Chattering.
If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
All right. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize until after I woke up, but... Witness testimony, the killer. When I came to, I was just laying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone. And all of the snow around the stone tavern had been, I keep saying, tavern! Lord, and all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. They had all that blood on it. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor. No need to apologize. It is, as Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Cross-examination, the killer. When the killer was it?
The killer, I have returned.
When I came to, I was just laying there on the training hall floor.
So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden. Is that right?
Yes, I think it happened when the victim was stabbed.
So then the person that carried you into the inner temple.
It could only have been the killer. That's what I think, too.
So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple.
By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed.
Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
I don't know.
It looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again.
The torches were lit and the body was gone.
The torches were lit.
Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed.
I'm gonna say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be?
The killer probably lit them since it'll be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body?
That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya.
Very well, let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene. And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too.
So you're saying that the killer cleaned up the snow? It did really look odd. The snow was removed in an unnatural looking rectangular shape around the lantern.
There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy, way too heavy for me to use. An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away?
Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto that snow?
Yeah. The area I collapsed in ended up being splattered.
In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation.
Yep. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount.
That's true. He could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood.
It looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue. But I think this will help. What? But I think this will help explain them. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man.
So, you're saying that you never saw the killer, right?
Yes.
But earlier you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker.
Nick, I'm sorry.
The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble. Moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. But for what purpose? Why do all that?
I thought Dahlia sent the body over there.
She did?
Dahlia.
Wait, let me see. Who sent
And-
Oh, wait, no, let me shut up. I ain't gonna give you no ideas.
Well, Dahlia said she sent it over there and Iris caught it. Anyway.
Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on.
It was at the end. When I came to,
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
just
it.
laying there on the training hall floor. I read this one.
Press her again on the second one.
Let me see. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed.
Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
The truth is, When I saw the crime scene, I felt something.
You did?
Yes, I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence from me, for my sake. What? Hiding it for you? Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden,
She may have thought that you had done it.
no, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened. Yes, I'm sure of it. Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened.
They did it for your sake?
Well, if the body and the blood hadn't been removed, I would have immediately been the prime suspect, right? Yes, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, and if that had happened, the body would have caused some other problems too. If a real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. Master of Curran, killed by her own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it.
But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motive. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you? The torches were lit and the body was gone. We already did this one, didn't we?
Yep. All the evidence on that garden was gone that pointed to Maya. All of it.
So it must have been someone. I
They
told you it was
removed-
pearls.
No. Okay. Go back to that one statement. All of the evidence was gone that pointed to Maya.
I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened.
So if it was for her sake, they must have got it all.
They must have got it all.
There's nothing that the killer couldn't have seen, right?
Ah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love me some ketchup.
Yeah, because Godot couldn't even see that on that stone thing.
What you talking about? I was just
He
talking about how
couldn't
much
see
I love
Maya.
ketchup.
Written on that thing.
Huh? Huh? That's crazy. Anyway.
Really? Will we present him on this statement?
No.
Let me see. The torches were lit and the body was gone.
No, you go back to that statement. You present something.
This statement here?
Yeah.
That's what I told you.
Present something.
Let me see. Let me present that photo. This here?
Look at it.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna present this.
The body of Elise Dunham was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. Oh, and what would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written on the blood lantern. Oh my god, I said the blood lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya.
Ah.
If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern?
Ah, you're right. Order. But Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene?
Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow. Then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing!
Objection!
But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior?
Hey, Game Queen 81, how's it going tonight?
Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it.
Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave a message written in the blood on the lantern?
To pin the crime on Maya.
It says the killer wrote it to pin the crime on Maya. The killer didn't notice it. You remember in court the other day when they mentioned it, Godot, he didn't know it was on there. The killer didn't notice it. That's what I'm gonna go with, y'all.
Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it.
But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that.
You're right. There is no way any normal person would.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether.
And who would that be? Who is the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing? He goes for to Godot again.
I do it over there.
Peril.
Perils. Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
You can't see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot?
This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented.
This lantern, there's something written on it. Why? It's written in blood.
Nonsense! This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle! Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct?
I can see all the blood though. Anyway.
You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations. This is the apron the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Somehow spilled coffee on.
There's something still bothering Mr. There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the blood stain to the court?
Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be?
Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood colored stain that smeared all over the apron.
That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. You could see the coffee on the white apron. But you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red.
He about to have them throw about 5 cups to him.
It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them?
So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern? You left that thing too. That what you call that? Talisman.
Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason why I drink red tea. I don't drink red. That's the reason I don't drink red tea. I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Plus, Kadoo. Plus, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot is the real murderer.
Just pushing the wrong button.
But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elise Doodle, also known as Miss Misty Faye.
It's hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you.
Huh. Just make sure you don't feel like that indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there.
He did show up after the bridge was Did he show up after the bridge was fixed?
I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is rich. Do go on and try it. The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow.
The snow? How so?
Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area?
Yes, why didn't he take just that area? Could it be?
Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so, he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
Objection.
Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see it just fine.
It seems that once again this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot? Uh-oh, Mr. Godot. Wait just a month. I said moment. Wait just a minute.
Maya!
What is it, witness? Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up.
Objection.
Maya.
Hmm?
You can't testify to something like that.
Why? What do you mean? I may not look.
After the murder happened, you didn't even exist.
She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, that's right. Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me.
Maya, you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear a testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her.
You see that, Game Queen 81?
Nicely done, Trite.
Very well. Let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I went. Let me stop. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling. My spirit left me, as it were. I may have read that wrong. But little Pearlie was there at the inner temple too. Witness testimony after the incident. Pearlie was also struck on the inner temple side. She was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. Why is she covering for Godot? I have no idea. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. Who is this Pearlie? It's lagging? Oh, Lord. What's going on? I haven't gotten any warnings yet. How's it doing now? Like it's doing fine. That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye. So when did you hear about this? Oh, just a while ago when I was in the medical office. I'm terribly sorry. But what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. All right, thank you, Game Queen 81. What? Come on. Pearlie would never tell a fib. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be. There it go again. There. Now I just got the warning. Is it going cool now? Is it? Did it start snowing? They said it was supposed to snow tonight.
Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath. The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness.
Mr. Godot.
Let's just move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections.
This is highly unusual, but, well, Mr. Wright?
Let's get this cross-examination started.
Cross-examination after the incident. Pearlie was also struck on the inner temple side that night.
So where did you think Pearl slept that night?
in the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. That's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training. But even so, why did she go to the inner temple in the first place?
It seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya.
She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense.
Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the inner temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise Dunham.
The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone.
She searched the entire inner temple side, end to end.
Well, you see, Pearly gets pretty scared when she's alone, and there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times.
The inner temple side has two structures, the training hall and the spare prep room.
And there's also a storage shack. I think that's about it.
There was a storage shack too? Pearls was looking for other people, right? Would she have really examined the storage shack all that carefully?
Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate. So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room.
Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge.
What do you mean?
I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge.
Oh, well, Pearly says she was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night, and she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times. Poor little girl, all alone like that.
Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the sacred cavern. Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busily battling with that trick lock. She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls. What happened after the bridge was finally fixed?
That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time.
So it was your first time over the inner temple side, Mr. Godot? That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question?
Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness.
What have you heard from someone else that's simply not admissible as testimony?
I said, what if?
No, I actually said, what have you heard from...
Anyway.
Yeah, those are your words. Oh my god, what was that?
Touche, Mr. Wright. Oh, well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot?
Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If it hadn't have been for this case, I never would have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains. I think I'll pass. So we had never visited Hazakura Temple or the Inner Temple, huh? You want to say something, try it. In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. While I cross-examine Maya, that is.
Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the inner temple side, right? Yes, then Mr. Godot, he found Pearly first and cheered her right up.
He cheered her up?
That's what Pearly said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot. And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. Where did y'all get that heater from and how much? think I got mine from Walmart actually, and about what, $25.
Cut it out. You're making me blush. This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves. In more ways than one.
All right.
Truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-toothed combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way, Godot style.
In the same way, I like to hand down verdicts in my own way, judge style.
Maybe I should ask some questions, Phoenix style. Ace Attorney Godot investigations
We
coming.
got Forget It, Turn Pearls Up, Godot's investigation. Like Godot's investigation?
Yes, I want the sequel. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything? Looks like my investigation went about as well as yours. Tried. After all, I did miss the blade writing on the lantern. Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles. The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall. Beauty? Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western taste. Western taste? Could you find a stranger way to describe gravy?
So from there, you headed for the prep room?
Wait a sec. What did Godot just say now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. Proverbial weak spot.
Right, well, anyway.
There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the inner temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed at least Duna.
And how would he know that was her picture? Misty Faye's picture. Pearlie was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. Let me see. Yeah, how he knew that was Misty Faye's under that gravy.
Well, I could tell that was her.
Whatever.
I could.
Next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. Let me see. What's the contradictions?
I prove that he wasn't over there.
We
trying to prove that he was over there before this.
Oh, okay.
Yo.
That last statement he just said told him off. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. How do you know? Let me see.
We were just talking about it.
Ah, yeah, that's right. I'm like, what can I present? On this statement?
I can see that though.
Okay, we're gonna present the scroll with Misty Faye's image that it was shown at first, but Pearl put gravy on it. So anybody arriving after that wouldn't have known it was Misty Faye under there.
Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went to the inner temple was long before the murder took place.
Why do you say that?
Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall.
Hanging scroll? But, Mr. Godot is right. The scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this!
What's that wonderfully delicious smell?
The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy.
Gravy? But why gravy, Nick?
Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye!
Wait a minute, Nick.
Yes?
Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look, at the top, there's a crest there.
Ah, that. It's the mark of the master, correct?
Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark, then you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Faye on there.
True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western taste.
Oh.
Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the inner temple long before the crime took place.
Uh-oh.
Can I ask you just one little thing, Chart? What is it? This whole theory of yours. It all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed.
That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene.
Of course Mr. Godot knew about the plan.
Huh? What did you say? Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan? Did they throw it to me?
Yes.
Let me see. Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan? Let me see.
Not another person, as in an actual person. Like, is there a way they could know?
That note. This.
Yeah. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Faye authored the plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Faye Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed.
Unsealed?
Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the inner temple. You still insist this crafty killer is me? You bet I do.
Nick going, he going full stream ahead to him.
But you just said that the instructions were hidden.
That's right. Look, my eye on his side. Why is she trying to protect him?
That's Mr. Godot.
Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden.
If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out.
Yes, and when was that?
During a visit.
A visit?
Morgan Faye told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of the visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden.
eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center?
Yes, it would have been arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot.
I wasn't expecting this. Order, order, order. Mr. Godot, you're under fire again.
This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. Humans are afraid of the dark. And yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee. Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean? It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the hidden temple and waited for that crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness? That's right. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this?
Well, Dahlia was, that was Dahlia. She was channeling Dahlia. He didn't know that was her the mother.
Yes, but why would he go through the trouble of eavesdropping?
Why would he go through the trouble of eavesdropping?
Go Diego, go Diego, go Diego, go. I mean, huh? What? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. I am what you see. I'm certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress.
The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word, even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life. His behavior is still a little too unnatural.
However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs.
I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick?
Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh? Okay, Trite, I'm all ears. Let's hear it. It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you.
What's this?
There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably.
That would be Mia.
Mia!
Mia Fey. Mia Fey.
Mia Fey! There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister.
He said two of you kind of sound like an actor to the characters. Probably they got a good, he can voice act real good, Dr. Proud.
No, I cannot.
Yes, he can.
Mia Fey. You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney.
Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney?
With your Honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago.
Look at the sad music. Diego Armando, that name rings a bell.
It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. The case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Faye's first time in court, the tragic outcome left a deep wound on her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked.
It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Fall has killed himself.
Mia, you can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients, that pure sweet of heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria.
Ah, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned.
Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee.
Some newspaper at the time called it a murder. But very little information about the case was released to the press.
But you weren't dead at all! No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. My body shut down, and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That a woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all my hair turned white due to the damage it caused.
That's terrible.
Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew.
What brew you call that one, Mr. Godot?
And one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee.
For 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years?
And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Faye was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered. And the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death.
The woman you loathe?
The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne! Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, There wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
That's so sad.
For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there was only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor. If I might ask, what were your 2 reasons to live? The first was you, Trite. Huh? Me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fade never would have died, much less the way she did. Huh? You were the only one who was there to protect her. But you let her die. It was all your fault. It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of man you really were.
So that's why you became a prosecutor?
My other reasons for living. She goes by the name of Maya Fey.
Huh? You mean me?
You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the current village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices.
Accomplices?
Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Faye. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Faye.
But how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
What? What do you mean, officially?
You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government. Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Current had great authority. Even without her official position, Misty Faye still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
So my mother was cooperating with you.
Don't ever forget. No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you.
She was always...
That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff.
Her staff, the one with the sword in it.
The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fey, if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price.
mother.
That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean pearls, don't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne.
Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight? Well, if you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together.
We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan. But she never showed up.
She was worried and followed me to the inner temple.
That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Misty Faye had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body.
What do you mean?
If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. As Master of Kern, Misty Faye's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Faye wouldn't be able to.
I knew that much. We knew that much, didn't we? What? Is this true?
My role in the plan was to make sure no one was ever going to hurt my Faye. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple. Just in case you needed to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne. Godot. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to. Try it. Huh? There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself.
The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Faye. And I'm sad to say you, Mr. Godot.
Well tried. If you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own.
No, Nick. Please don't.
Maya.
I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who puts his life on the line to protect Mia and me too.
Maya, I know that.
Nick.
But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify.
Miss Faye, your testimony, please.
This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. All right, young lady, tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? Witness testimony, the time of the murder. I just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights, 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness. These red lights, I thought you said you don't remember seeing them. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Things break tried, even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? It looks like you still can't prove it. Maya's telling the truth this time. I know it. The rest is up to me.
Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness. Cross-examination, the time of the murder. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights, 3 of them.
Lights shining in the dark? I don't think you can make a mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure they were from Godot, Mr. Godot's mask either.
I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but...
Gonna press harder.
But just after that, you turned toward the lights and called for help. Isn't that because you thought that the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time. But I can't remember after all. There was a person I couldn't identify in front of me.
Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly.
Alright then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights? I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood.
That blood, was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood?
I think so, probably. Just at that moment, I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice. So that was when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with the murder weapon. Is that right?
Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation. Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that?
She was dead and she struck back at... Oh, Lord.
She was dead?
I said she was dead and she struck back anyway. She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Oop. I need to press it.
Struck back? How do you know that?
Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly, but I could tell by the sounds of their breathing and movement, and also the smell of blood. You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should have ever have to in one life. So then, what did you do at that point? I couldn't move. I could barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do.
Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier?
Yes, I think so. But suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark.
They went out?
Yes, suddenly I couldn't see them at all. What could it mean?
If the red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight.
Maybe the mask was damaged.
Or maybe it was knocked off. Or maybe the batteries ran out. Right, tried.
Or maybe those little red pinhead looking lights just stopped working.
What could have really happened then?
Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream.
What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out?
Yes, that's right.
The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne's?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. What? So then, that scream came from the killer.
That's gotta be it.
I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it. And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh? After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me.
It sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder.
If you're wondering, then there must be a contradiction. It says that's a contradiction, or that sounds
Always
about
a
right.
contradiction. I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction.
That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct.
Remember the testimony she just gave before the killer let out a scream. Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim.
Is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than a staff. If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite. There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer?
That dagger. It's a dagger found stuck in the pine tree in the inner temple garden. The blood didn't match the victim's.
Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. Yes, the detective found that the morning it brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this. And she managed to wound him as well.
Objection!
Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim. Have you forgotten that the blood had already been tested? Huh? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body.
Uh-oh. So you're saying that the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer?
Exactly. The DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood! Nice theory, Trite.
Order in the court.
Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test! Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Huh? Do you really think it would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? What? just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct?
You probably didn't see it.
But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom.
Yes, what does that prove?
Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. It can't be! In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trite. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance! What?
In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. All right then, witness, continue your testimony. Wait a minute. What's the problem? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but that's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation.
Maya?
This dagger, you said that it wounded the killer.
That's right.
But, if Mr. Godot had already been cut with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right? They always have on the same clothes in them.
Maya? Maybe he just changed his clothes. That'd solve the contradiction pretty easily.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder? Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there. Ah, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple, Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes. Uh-oh, Maya got him. Order in the court. What the witness says?
Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him.
But no one could have predicted that the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes?
Did the judge take smart pills during the last recess? Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he couldn't get any blood on them.
Objection!
That's impossible, Trite. You know how Cody gets up there late at night. Eh? After a few minutes with no clothes on, you would be frozen solid. Ah! So that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here. Huh? If Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already. If Mia Fey were here. So come on, Trite, can you do it or not?
How about it, Mr. Wright? You accuse Mr. Godot of being the killer. But can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence?
The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm gonna bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you want it!
Uh-oh.
That's good. A fire to the bitter end, Trite. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the unlimited penalty?
Ooh, that's all my help, y'all.
Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite. So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle.
All right then, Mr. Wright, let's hear what you've got.
There's one thing I've demonstrated in this previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger.
But you decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a bloodstain on his clothing.
There's one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wound.
What did you say? Hidden?
This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line. The final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. Where's the location? Where's the location where you say the killer hid his wound? Also, you hear us playing in the background? You hear us playing in the background? They brought it back, baby!
That's the corner music.
Yeah.
Cornered it. Let me see. I don't know what they talking about.
Where's the one location that he could hide a wound?
In his hand?
Nope.
His head?
Yes. Where?
On there, I guess under them goggles.
So what's the last piece of evidence we present in court?
Him?
Bingo. The last piece of evidence we present in Ace Attorney is Prosecutor Godot.
Okay, look. You see the whole health is at last, so.
Yeah. If you mess this up, they don't give you no sympathy either. You just lose.
I just lost. You all ready?
Yeah,
Okay, let's go.
That's it. Huh. I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't gain Queen 81.
And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trite? Huh? What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him? Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound! It's beneath your mask! During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face! Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I say this whole case is solved! Ah! Just now, I saw a spirit in you. Huh? I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought.
Mr. Godot?
But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me.
You? Yourself?
I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But you saved Maya! Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway.
What do you mean?
Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's only one person that I should have gone and talked to right away.
Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick?
But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother. But I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. You know why? The real reason?
No, why?
I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
Huh?
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more.
I guess that's what they saying, Gang Queen 81. That's why I let you walk right into a situation. Oh, that's you. Goodness.
That's my voice now. I sound like this now. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong! You put your life on the line to save Maya! Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure.
What do you mean by that?
That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw a silhouette. Part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything. Mr. Godot. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me.
Thanks. Your wound! It's bleeding! Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. Huh? These must be my tears.
Tears?
Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando?
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
This time it really is all over, isn't it? Defend it. Yes, Your Honor. Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body and the crime scene is a serious offense in itself. I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway. Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say? Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright.
Huh?
I want to apologize to you.
Apologize? To me? For what?
For the case 5 years ago, of course. I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own liver?
Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me.
It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Huh? What do you mean?
You and my sister. You only met twice.
Huh? We only met twice?
The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courtroom house. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed.
No way! It can't be true! I mean, during our whole relationship, we were...
For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne was actually my sister.
Huh? It wasn't Dahlia?
I hope one day you can forgive me. Feeny.
You mean?
That's right. I failed to you for 8 months. She was saying, Dolly.
It's messed up.
but why? Why would you do such a thing? Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance, she couldn't move about freely.
So that's why you?
My sister, from that beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
Prepared for the worst?
She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at the moment's notice.
You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you?
She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance.
And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place?
But I couldn't get you to give it back. I felt that something even as simple as that. 8 months passed, and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that that had ever happened.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you.
I think she must have noticed.
Notice what?
My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her, even if it meant her life or mine.
Iris!
After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed.
I have something to say to you, too.
Yes?
You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you.
Thank you.
How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though, right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Don't you think so? Phoenix, right?
I think I finished drinking coffee.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim Elise Dunham. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case. I understand, Your Honor. Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty. She's guilty in some way. Court is now adjourned.
I thought that was the first time he called him Phoenix, right?
I see, yeah. He normally call him Trite. February 10th, 4:51 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 1.
So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended, was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand.
Of course justice was served.
Mia!
I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant.
But I couldn't save Mr. Armando! The man who cared so deeply for you.
You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible.
You mean, with that verdict?
I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. Why did he kill Mia's mom if he cared about her? He wasn't even thinking. He just saw Dahlia. He saw Dahlia.
And he said, I'm gonna kill you! Poison me!
That's nothing more you can learn from me.
Mia!
You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you.
Mia.
I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix.
I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer.
Nick,
Maya!
I guess it's just like my sis said.
Mia? What did she say?
That night, when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end.
But...
Come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see me, sis? And I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you have done for us, Nick.
Maya. How? How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your own mother murdered. Youch! Francisca?
Still as salty as always, Phoenix, right?
Excellent work, right?
Huh? Mr. Edgeworth? Where did you get here? Get back.
Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me.
Helping you?
If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Wow, but where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold, which forced him to sleep all day.
Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head.
Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francisca.
I have no idea. I don't suppose. That's Larry. There's room for me in this group hug, is there?
Oh, Larry.
What's with the, longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone. Not even once.
That's not true, right, Nick?
What? You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good. No. Oh yeah. Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me? Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance. Do you really mean it? What about you, Francie? Did I draw you well, too? Ah!
My beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something.
So then you'll do it? Like you promised? You're gonna model for my next picture book. Francie Whip. Ah!
Don't get carried away.
Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty good too, if you ask me. Huh? Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around.
Right, Gang Queen 81.
Pearls? Where could she have gone? Normally she would have made a beeline for Maya.
Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back. Hey, Pearlie.
Right. You seem to be on Oh my god, you seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened. Yeah.
To be honest, I can't understand it either.
Francisca. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well. I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now it's exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can.
What do you mean by now is exactly the time?
Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she was. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying her best not to cry. Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya? Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand too. Ow!
Then tell me, Phoenix, right? Who is Maya Faye being strong for?
Maya Faye must become the strongest. Like you, right?
It's for Pearls. Pearls?
Or you right because you're Phoenix. Or you Phoenix because you're right. Edgeworth, shut up!
Pearl Faye?
The poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Faye clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Faye's mother was killed, and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And that's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again. Oh hey! So this is where you all were! Wow, looks like we've got a quite to... Ouch! What was that for, sir?
Sorry about that, Scruffy. That whip just seems to have a mind of its own.
What's up, Detective Gumshoe?
Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, pal. Dinner's on me.
You can't afford it.
My salary's just sorta kinda gone down by a teeny-weeny bit, but it's alright. I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight. Ah!
Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward.
Detective Gumshoe? You said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean...
He talking about that one restaurant.
Tribulations. Where else?
I knew it. We're doomed.
With that nasty food.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Maggie waiting, pal. Hey, you, Crybaby, you're invited too.
Oh, forget about me. Her and I will be at the loser shack eating potatoes. No, Maya's taking an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls. Oh, Maya, what's wrong?
Nick, what do I do? Pearly, I can't find her anywhere.
Huh?
I'll bet she just went back home. That's all.
I thought so too, so I called the village. But no one has heard from her. This has never happened before.
As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya.
But none of this was her fault. What should I do?
Detective Gumshoe.
Yeah? What is it, pal?
Did you guys go on ahead?
But what about you?
Maya and I will. We'll join you guys once we find pearls.
Nick,
Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah, but you're the... Ah!
very well, Phoenix, right? We'll go on ahead.
Don't keep us waiting, right? We won't.
But where should we look? Where could Pearly have gone?
Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone to.
The penitentiary.
How you do that, Mommy?
Now, February 10th, Hasakura Temple main gate. Hasakura Temple?
For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started.
What's this? You're all back again so soon? Sister Bikini? I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here. Pearly is here? She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her? Okay. Pearly's not here.
Ah! Maya! The hanging scroll!
Ah. Someone clipped it off.
It's gotta be pearls.
Ah! Mystic Maya! Pearly! What? Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! I promised that I would never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother.
That's why you came here?
It's the least I can do to pray for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course I'm sad that my mother is gone. But how do I say this? I'm still happy. You don't have to fib just to make me feel better. No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I could really do. Mystic Maya! I'm impressed. You are the daughter of Mystic Misty. Sister Bikini. Your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Curran, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true, she'll always be with me until the day I die. Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets.
She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die.
That's the master talisman.
The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was very important. Rather, it was the contents.
That's a photo. Ah, mother.
It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question.
Who is that, Mia and Maya?
Yep. And the bonds that connect us are severed. We always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando. Maya's mother, too. I learned that from all of them. They all broke their face.
All of them broke the vase.
Well, shall we get going? Everyone is waiting.
Ah,
This is the day to remember. The day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today.
but I still can't. Oh, go on, sweetie. Oh, Lord. How's YouTube going, Game Queen 81? You still watching? I just got a yellow. I'm in the yellow. You can come back for training anytime. Okay. Alright, I'm going to make a brand new start too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise. Ain't she the master now?
Yeah, she the master.
I know I won't. And I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 for when you come back. All right, thanks, Game Queen 81. Whoa, all right, we're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. Okay, Mystic Maya, I'll eat lots of food tonight.
You know, there's one thing I don't get. Probably don't want to, but
What is it, Nick?
reservations for training is fine and all. But why for 3?
Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us.
Huh?
I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you.
Huh?
It'll be great, Nick. We're going to do the special course naturally. That's right, a great idea. That's a great idea after all, Mr. Nick. You'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time. Right, Nick?
You know, I was wondering if I can say.
Sure, of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting goosebumps too.
Well then, here goes nothing. Objection! It's over.
All right, what y'all think of that case?
You never
It was
expected it.
exciting. I really have to work extra hard now. Master Akira and the office manager of writing code law offices. And I have to be good. Yeah. Well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that.
Nope. Next week she been for another movie.
So it's true, Mr. Nick really is Ricky Maya's knight in shining honor. He went through with the special course all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special ultra course here too. I think I'll surprise the two of them by making them a secret reservation. Why they go so fast?
Why'd you read that fast?
There you go.
Maggie bought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off.
Yes, but somehow you just don't seem the same. I guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat is just more detective-like, sir.
Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly.
Mr. Wright, I am once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Kira exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Wakoma, who I hadn't seen for almost a year. She taught me how to use a whip and said that I must show you what I've learned.
That's messed up.
Yeah, I love them whips, huh?
That Turnabout sister background. Oh, yeah. This year, I started a company called Master Mouse Consulting.
We're dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city.
Our motto is, cut it out, please! Pretty cute, huh? Well, we almost sell plants to the criminals as a kind of side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think maybe we're the worst criminals.
Guess you got to go through everybody, huh? I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Dunn Tiger, so I lent him $500,000 and a tea tent. What? A special thick tea once I mix it with my own two hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Win through compromise. He.
It's her in jail too.
I know. Was she the one who pours it? Who she pours?
I forgot his name.
I'm just an old, a wriggly, grumpy clown, nose waste of flesh. At least that's what I thought. But my grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing, 69 years old, and I cried like a baby with a dirty diaper.
Don't kill me, huh?
As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Elk. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adam Mata. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly. I be forgetting their voices. Look, I don't know. My. More reporters. Since the murder, we have made so much money, I hardly know what to do. I think the magazines like us because I provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back. Oh, he just 69. Right, okay. He seems like he's like 80 years old. You turned into such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard. You got a nosebleed. Girl slapped.
They cut it in your voices. Where me at? Ingrown. What does that say?
Ingrown.
Sion King!
Pluminator.
King!
They all Pluminator.
No, this was you.
GameGoddessFee. We'll pay.
You submit.
Objection.
James C. Wilson. Francisca Van Karma.
Why they lay it out like that?
She's supposed to have a German accent. Winston Payne. Go old bag. What's this? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation. No one is here to greet me. I guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper buddy quit, and now I've got to. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? What with all the flashing lights and switches? I feel like some sort of what. And now what I'm going to do with all these mechanic. She going on.
Read it. Come on, read it. You're supposed to read all that.
I'm not reading it. She be shooting at the mouth.
You shoot that gun in the mouth. I finally found something I love to do. Francis' Whippy Whip trip is going to turn the art world on its head. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial? I'm an artist. A really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all.
Nah, don't start that. Look.
There's something they say about all artists hating themselves. It's true. Well, there they all is.
All right, that's a nice portrait. And there's the dead.
You know, could be dead. He doesn't show up after this game.
You see how I be spoiling stuff, y'all?
Really? That's not a spoiler. He doesn't show up.
How we would have known, the ones who hadn't played the game.
Who is gonna play? Y'all don't even know what the game is.
It's a new game coming out.
Yeah, that's not a spoiler saying he doesn't come back. If they say he did come back, that would be a spoiler anyway.
What y'all think about that game, Queen 81? How you like that case? I like that case.
You like that case? Did you expect it to be conducted? Well,
I did not expect it to be conducted. I thought it was pearls.
It was keeping that a secret, but I wanted to say it so many times. There's so much stuff about him, like throughout the entire game, that points to him. Him not seeing that stuff.
I was not expecting
the lights.
that. Did you expect that game, Queen 81? Did y'all expect that?
No.
But he was raised to suspicion when he didn't see that blood on that lantern.
The fact that he wasn't even in court that one day either.
The first day, it sure was, cause he was still on the other side, was he?
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't get him off of that bridge.
Also, he was the one that had made that call to Iris too.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. If he made that call, so yeah, cause they were accomplices. So
yeah, man.
That was a cool case.
That just messed me up when I first finished it, bro. I was like, man, they being condone like that. That's why I had came to you for that coffee.
Yeah, I think he got you for playing the game. He gonna come to me, you got some coffee? I need some coffee. Like, what you need some coffee for? And it's late at night too. I'm like, boy, you gonna be up all night long.
I need some coffee for my boy. My boy.
Well, until the next case. All right. So yeah, I appreciate you all for watching, and yeah, Game Queen 81, that was crazy. But yeah, I appreciate you all for watching tonight. Yes, so unexpected. But all right, we had Game Queen 81 in the chat. We had Yiddy in the chat. Miles off and Prower. Everybody else watching, appreciate you all for watching us tonight. Been with this journey, and yeah, I was looking 130 subscribers, you guys.
My number,
I'm like,
13.
wow.
13, baby.
Look, I'm really on the wave, y'all. 130. I remember my birthday, December 1st. We were trying to get 100. We up to 130 now. Hey. But I appreciate you all for watching. I guess I will let you all go on.
Pick Apollo Justice up in 5 days.
Yeah, so with that, he's gonna play that, and then I guess we could come back with Apollo Justice. So be on the lookout for that. I'm not sure when we're gonna stream it, but hey,
we're gonna stream it in 2025.
No, we ain't. But anyway, you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. If you're watching and you like what you see, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button. Also, if you don't mind hitting the like button for me as well. And I will talk to you all on the next one. You all have a wonderful night, you all.